Bye. So, I mean, speaking of which, feeling nostalgic, did you guys see the verses yesterday with Ray and Ghost?
I saw it twice.
Part of it.
Huh?
I said I saw it twice now.
Did you? Oh, you saw the replay?
Yeah.
There's never been a verses that made me stop and watch it the whole way through. And
Not even the Jada and Fab?
Huh?
Not even the Jada and Fab?
Just for whatever reason, if something caught my attention, I was like, I could come back to this. Ghostface and Raekwon, I was just stuck. Like, I was just looking at my phone for however long it was going.
No, usually when you get like the phone, the arm pain and holding the phone a certain way, you're like, damn.
I had to reshuffle myself.
So I'm like,
I was losing circulation when certain positions.
Yeah. Finally, I realized that I can stream it to my TV. I was like, the hell have I been doing? Or like mirror my screen. I'm like, you're an idiot.
I can't do that on my TV where I was at. So I just had to just watch on the phone. But I didn't budge. I watched the whole thing. You said, well, you only saw a piece of it?
Oh, yeah, I saw a little bit of it. I think that's actually the best one. For me, that's the best one. And I'd even see all of it.
A lot of people were saying that. Like, the ones I saw, and I haven't seen a lot. I don't watch them like that, but I have watched them. To me, that was the best one. Out of all the other ones I saw, like, that was, even people were just like, this has been the best one so far. So I had a couple of appearances. Inspect the Deck, who I think is probably one of the most underrated rappers ever.
And I'm glad that Raekwon actually spoke about that. He's like, yo, you're one of my favorites. And like, like he's like one of the realest in our group. And so that was dope to see.
Yeah, came out, hit everybody with a verse.
Yeah.
Kept it going.
Capadonna came out.
Did Cap come out? I saw
Capadonna, yeah.
Master Killah come out.
He was out there too.
And I know RZA came out, which is actually crazy to see. No, he didn't spit, but it was actually just crazy to see because, Wu-Tang always has their ups and downs. Sometimes they're cool with each other. Sometimes they hate each other.
Yeah.
But
they even spoke on that too. He's like, yo, keeping us 9 cats together is difficult. We might have a situation where 3 of us agree on something and the 6 of us, the rest of the 6 don't, So like for us to collaborate on things, it's a difficult process.
I was gonna say that so good call, because I was gonna say that because I heard them when they stopped. So they would do a couple songs and then have a break time. But the DJ was on point. The DJ, the second the song was up, he would put some Mr. Rogers music and Ray would sit down and start talking. It's crazy though, because when they would talk with a beat in the background, it sounded like every Raekwon and Ghostface interlude.
That's exactly right. Exactly right.
Whether it's the Purple Tape, Iron Man, Supreme Clientele, like whatever, like they always have that part that's just them talking. And every time they stopped us talking verses, it sounded like one of those, like every single time.
In fact, one of his last ones that I remember, Raekwon shit. Damn, I forgot the name of the album, but it had like a whole bunch of sneakers on it, and he had like a song about sneakers on the album. I forgot what it was, but anyway, after each song, he had like an interlude like that where it was just like him talking, like, you know what I mean? We got to do this right for the people up in the island, you know what I mean? And we got to do that, like,
you know what I mean?
Yeah,
that's
dog throwing.
That took the replacement of a period for Ray. Like instead of a period, like that was his period was, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
You know, I did everything with.
And wait, did you guys see the Wu-Tang doc yet or no?
No, I didn't see it.
The one on Hulu?
Yeah.
Yeah, I saw it.
Yeah. It makes me appreciate that even more. Because remember, like if how if how the story went, if it is actually factual, Raekwon and Ghost had beef.
They have major beef.
They had right? like violent beef against each other.
So to see them now, from how that was, to them like loving each other and dapping up, and knowing that they had like mad songs together, and somehow put aside that beef for the overall greater good. That's great, man.
I love them both. I didn't realize Raekwon was as good a storyteller because I always put Ghost up there, but I realized just hearing yesterday. I'm like, damn, he's one of the greatest storytellers of all time. Raekwon the Chef, man.
Yeah.
You know, Method Man named his son Raekwon.
No, I did not.
Really?
Yeah. Like apparently they all love Ray. You know.
Wow.
Even when Ghost had their differences, once they pieced it up, they became what they like the dynamic duo of the clan. But you know, everybody else, like Method Man's named his kid Raekwon. Like he gets respect out of the clan. I love that Purple Tape is legendary. That is the summer track of when that came out.
You couldn't hear anything else.
You don't even call it by his name. It's the Purple Tape.
Exactly.
That's how you know what it is.
And speaking of Meth, I think one of the next verses is gonna be Mef N Redmans. So I know you're gonna be locked into that.
Oh,
really?
Wow.
Yeah.
That should be good.
And I saw them live.
I literally have it written down. Who would you like to see in the verses? And the name that's right there is Red versus Meth for me.
It's gonna happen.
Damn.
Even though I don't think the last couple of ones weren't like true like battles. Like when you got Wu-Tang, like you got so many tracks that they can go back and forth with where they're on the same track and they both have dope verses.
It was less of a versus, more of a concert.
Yeah,
I can kind of say like that. But they always say, you know, they sharpen the swords, this and that. So, you know, it's still, it's like a sparring session.
Yeah.
It's like Dragon Ball Z when you know, they're both taking out mountains and shit, but they're not really just damaging each other. It's just like one of those. So I'm a Wu-Tang fan. You know how I think. So
no doubt.
Me too.
When I saw that, I was like, wow, okay. I was like, this is, again, less of a versus, less of a battle, but still like in the ring sparring though. So because they were still talking shit a little bit, like, oh, okay, you put me on my knee with that one, you took out my leg on that one, you stabbed me in my leg, I gotta come back with something.
Yeah. Dope shit.
I remember they took like a little 5-minute break, and right before Inspector Deck came out, and you know, them being who they are, they came back with a wardrobe change. Yeah, but when Ghost came back, he had the fur, like the gigantic American Gangster Frank Lucas fur on. Like he had the gigantic, like he killed a polar bear and put him on.
Yo, this Marvin Gaye looking.
He was like hip hop Ric Flair. That's what he looked like.
Yeah.
With the robe on. But it's funny though, I was hoping, like while he was going, and I think somebody like Ray was like, nah, he's changing clothes real quick. I was hoping that he would have came out with that gigantic eagle bracelet.
Eagle. Yeah.
And the hubcap of a piece of a chain that he had on. Like, I was hoping he would have came out with that. It's like somebody took a gigantic real eagle, stuffed it, then platinumed it out, and then put it on somebody's wrist.
Yeah.
That was hard, man.
Oh, man.
You rocked that for like a year.
Yeah.
Hell yeah.
Yeah, the real life.
Ghost is always my favorite out of the entire Wu-Tang. Ghost is always my favorite.
Always had it now.
Yeah, it was either him or Raekwon for me.
I liked him too because when he first came out in the first couple of Wu-Tang videos, he was really Ghostface. You never saw his face.
I heard that was some beef shit, like because he had to keep his face covered. I heard that. Don't know how true it is. I heard, but that's why he ran around with the mask on.
I wouldn't be shocked on that.
Yeah.
Yeah, that Meth N Redman should be dope. They played up here one year, and I went to a show, and so I go to the show with me, Zach, fucking Meat, and
Meat.
Yeah, I forgot this other cat. I forgot the other cat that went with us. But anyway, like, yo, so Zach is like, yo, I want to get there like mad early. So I'm like, all right, cool. So we're sitting, we're like the stage, little gap between the stage, and then like they started like the barricade. And then we were like maybe like 2 or 3 rows behind the barricade. And we were there from like, let's say this show started at 7. We were there from like 6 something, right? And the whole time more people are coming in, and shit's getting like really packed. So I'm like, yo, we got to stay right here because I'm not trying to lose our spots. So by the time Meth N Red come on the fucking stage, yo, you have nowhere to go. And basically I had my jacket on, and I couldn't even take off my jacket. That's how fucking jam-packed it was, right? So I'm like developing mad sweat under my armpits, like drenching under my jacket, right? And then finally they come on and they fucking kill it. They're killing it, whatever. And then they want to crowd surf, right?
Oh.
So then Meth is like, yo, you guys want me to come out there? Yeah. Everybody's like, yeah. And I was like, no. Yo, because I couldn't move my arms up. I don't think I was able to move my arms up in time to catch them, you know? And I was like the tallest motherfucker there. Because every time I would turn around, I'm looking at it looked like I'm like on top of a mountain looking down on everyone. So I'm like, yeah, I'm gonna be one of the first people to have to catch him. But yeah, I can't even get my arms up, you know? So thank God that when he jumped off, he went off to the side of me, but then he ended up crowd surfing and coming back our way. And then I was able, because everyone's like moving around, I was able to get my hand up and like, you know, help me get across. But at first I was like, no. That was crazy.
Nice. I think Meth and Redman, I think they're both two of the greatest to ever do it, in my opinion. Love Method Man, love Redman. See, I got to see him one time when I had the privilege of going to 2 summer jams when they were like summer jams. So dude, I saw Jay-Z, I saw Snoop, I saw Pun, I saw Busta Rhymes, I saw The Lox, I saw DMX, Nas, Diddy. Like this is when Summer Jam was crazy. That's the Summer Jam I went to one of them that's when so you know how 50 Cent came out with How to Rob, and he had his line about Jay-Z, and the story is backstage at the Summer Jam, 50 walks by Jay-Z, goes, yo, you know I don't like that, and 50 just kind of stood there, goes, I love it, but you know I gotta come back on you. And 50 was just like, I didn't know he meant that night. And at that Summer Jam, Jay-Z came from the bottom and rose up to the stage. And he was doing that song that he had on his S. Carter album. I'm About $1. What the fuck is 50 Cent? He came out to that. Was the first time anybody heard it. And it was the crowd just erupted. But yeah, Method Man and Redman, they came out and showman. So they had like a big thing on the big screen. They were playing the Nuns. And Sergeant Cracker was coming after him from the How High video. So they were, you know, doing some hustle shit as nuns. And it turns out like they run on the camera on the screen, and like they run into like the darkness or something, and then they run out on the stage still in their nun shit.
That's sick. So
what's crazy was they got on stage and they started rhyming immediately. Like show just started. And you remember 300?
The movie?
Yeah.
Yeah, of course.
When the guy's like, our arrows will blot out the sun. And he's like, well, we're fighting the shade. So Summer Jam, Method Man and Redman get on, they're rhyming. And all of a sudden, like those arrows come down on the Spartans. Bags of weed come flying onto the stage.
Wow.
And I'm not talking, I'm high up on the seats. Like I'm pretty up there as far as like where it was held at. So I'm looking down and you could see gigantic bags of bud hit the stage, like gigantic. And it was just like, and it's just
all these people were searched apparently, right?
It was chaos. I actually found out, I knew somebody, but before I met him, him and like 20 people bum rushed where they were giving out the tickets. Like, all right, go ahead. So I'm waiting online. All of a sudden, like to the line to the left of me, I just see a group of like 20 dudes just bum rush right through and get into the Summer Jam. Once you were in, it was so dark. Once you were in, that's it. You were in. So it was so packed and so dark in the Coliseum. We'll say that's where it was. That it was just, you're not making out anybody. So 20 people just like. I found out through a conversation like years later that I knew one of the people that that ran into there. And yeah, so that was an experience. Red and Mef, out of all the performances I saw, were the best performances, one of them I've ever seen.
That's one of the joints I wish I went to back in the day, the summer jams. I forgot, there was always something like that weekend that I could never go or didn't even think about going. Yeah, what years, do you remember what year exactly? No, right? It'd be like what, 95, 96, 97, 98 around there, because those were like the hottest years, right? Like 95 and up.
I don't know. I know Pun was alive because Pun was there. Yeah, I don't know. The last one I saw Pun was there, so it was before he died.
Okay.
But yeah, they were both pretty fucking good. It was chaos. That's the best way I guess. It was, I guess, controlled chaos, but it was fun. I'm not even gonna lie.
Wow.
So going back to the verses, that's who I would like to see on a verse. Who you guys want to see on a verses?
I mean, me personally, I have Rakim versus Coogee Rap.
Nice. Shout out to that DJ too, because he was playing a lot of old school shit on a little in between things too. So not just saying those names. Yeah. Definitely interesting. I would like to see that.
Yeah.
You got another one, Will, or you good?
No, that's it.
I got mine, Red N Mef. That's it.
I got two, but there'll be more like it's more like a celebration kind of deal, like kind of like what this was yesterday. I would love to see Slaughterhouse up there. Get all these motherfuckers and let them go.
If you had to pick just two.
Wow.
And you go and Button's in there. I'll put Button in there.
Wow. If you had to pick just two of them to battle each other.
Yeah, I know who I'd pick.
I know who both of y'all would pick. I'm gonna go with.
I'm gonna say for you, I'm gonna say Button and Ortiz.
That's a good one. And for y'all too, I know y'all gonna say Royce and Crooked.
Yep.
Ding ding. Yep.
But no, I was actually gonna switch mine up. I mean, I think that would have been more like a better matchup. Button and Joel. But I would like to see Button and Royce. I know Royce will win, but I would like to see him like trying to get up to his level, keep the consistency of Royce, see how well he could do versus Royce.
Button's a spitter. Nobody will ever deny that.
Yeah, no doubt.
But as far as verses go and like what they do and how they do it, it like you said, like when you said it was my pick, that definitely is Crooked Eye and Royce is it for me.
Hell yeah.
Ortiz is a beast. Button's cool. You know, they're nice, man. I'm not taking anything away from any one of them, but those two right there, those are the ones I want to hear.
Why do I always feel like, or not always feel like, but I felt like when they were like in the group, I always felt like Crooked's joints with the group, minus a few, were always not that good. Actually, no, I'm sorry. It's the opposite. I always liked him when he was with the group. It's his solo shit that I never really liked.
True.
It's like if he's not with them, I don't hear. Even on tracks when it's just maybe just him and maybe Joel, I hear that rhyme better than I would hear a rhyme by himself. I don't know. Maybe he just like upped his game when he's around them or something like that. So you feel the same way?
It happens. It happens when you're in the group because like. You know, I think he even said it in there. It's like, you know, when you're amongst those type of people and you're rhyming, you know,
you can't half-ass it.
Yeah, every time you have to hit it out the park. So that competitiveness is there. I mean, I've even experienced it myself back when I was rhyming. I remember we went over to this kid's house. It was like 4 of us, and we were gonna write a rhyme on the spot to a beat that the kid made. And it was one of those. I think I wrote my best verse because the dude to the right of me, Lawrence, he wrote this joint that I heard and I was like, shit, I got to go back and change my shit now and up it, you know. But it's that type of competitiveness that just ups your game.
No doubt.
Was that kid that you knew that worked at Sears with you?
Yeah, that kid.
I remember that kid for spitting. I remember that kid for spitting. He was a cool dude, man.
Yep, he stepped my game up because he rhymed so like that. I had to step my game up. So
I remember the first time he spit for me. I was like, all right, here's something, and then he spit something. And I was like, oh shit, all right. That was my first like hearing somebody that's I could rhyme, but then they actually fucking rhymed. I heard that. I was like, okay,
yep,
that shit exists. All right,
that exists. And the other one I would like to see again, more of a celebration thing, is Rocafella. Just have like Jay-Z and fucking Beanie and Freeway.
Oh yeah,
I would
be
down
dope
for that. I would be down for that.
You know, I was listening.
Beanie Siegels.
You know who I was listening to yesterday? Not you say that? Some Memphis Bleek.
His first album, and leading up to his first album, he had a lot of shit. I mean, maybe even the second album too. Maybe even the second album.
First two albums. Yep.
I would say his first two.
That Meth Bleek is.
Yeah. He had that joint with Jay-Z. Where my people's at? Where my people's at? I love it. And had the horns.
Yeah, his first two.
I was like, woo.
Yeah.
Bleek, I like Bleek, man.
And wasn't one of the joints with DMX and Jay-Z like on his album? One of the like those not Murdergram, but
I think it might have been on the Streets is Watching soundtrack.
Oh, maybe that's what it was. There's one of them joints where like he's on it with Jay-Z and I think DMX or somebody else, and I'm like,
yeah, Murdergram was X, Jay, and Ja.
That's a fucking banger right there too.
I'll tell you something, man. Ja Rule.
Yo.
Veni Veda Vici, his first album, to me, is a great album. He has a joint with Bleek on it too.
Yep.
That they actually, it was one song they both took it for both their albums because it was such a good song.
I agree. Then 50 smashed his career, so that was it.
Yeah, that goes back to finicky rap fans though. We've had that talk before.
Yeah.
So yeah.
But yeah, the nostalgic feeling from last night definitely is carrying over.
They don't do that anymore. Remember Hot 97? Like whole labels would go in and just kill it. If it was the Locks, if it was Dipset, if it was The Rock. Like a lot of epic freestyles from groups came. Like, yo, The Rock's in the building.
I still watch the freestyle that they got when they went up in the building to Flex's joint with Rocafella when they had Oskino and they had
Oskino and Sparks.
Yeah, and they had Young Chris was there, and they had
Freeway killed it.
Freeway and Beans when they were going back to back.
They had that was when State Property was in there.
Yeah, they're on YouTube. They got like all them videos tied together. I mean, they're separated out, whatever. But yo, that's just like get your tapes ready. Get your tapes ready.
That's what it was. Like whenever there was a get your tapes ready moment.
Yeah.
Yep.
That doesn't happen.
Oh my God, look at that. Get your tapes ready. Exactly. Because and that was true. I remember I was like, yo, I got to get home so I can fucking record this, whatever the case may be. If I knew there was a good interview coming like that night or whatever the case may be.
If all the Locks, all of Rocafella, all of Dipset, all of, trying to think who else, if they showed up in the building together, you were like, oh my God, get your tapes ready because something is about to go down. I remember The Rock was like, yo, we're cursing. I'm paying the fines for the curses. We're cursing for the next 10 minutes, 5 minutes, like whatever it was.
Oh yeah. Jay-Z
and they did it.
Yeah.
Never happened again.
We ain't never gonna see times like that again, man.
No, it's not that I'm the old guy saying my music is better. It's not
just
that.
How everything was or is. You know, you can get away with so much. You can even just like what they were rapping about is like, you know, just different.
It was after the babe. So this is why to me it's the greatest era. It was after the newborn baby phase, the Sugar Hill gangs and all that. It was after that, but it was before it became so popular. It was turned into a business. Suit and Ties didn't grab hold of it. Was commercialized. So between that little gap of newborn baby and it is now company owned, that's our era. So censorship was a thing, but not really. So you can kind of get away with it all. And it wasn't like we have to make hits for the club. It was I'm making whatever's a hot track to put out as my single. Like to me, that era, and that era is defined as the era of being your own person. Like now, after it became commercialized, everybody, because money was involved, you have to sound like that person.
So yeah, there's like a blueprint you got to follow.
Everybody had to now sound like that person. In our era, the 90s that 90s era, you would be looked down upon if you came out as something other than yourself. You have to be different. You cannot sound like this other person because you're just going to get shitted on for that. And you have to be individual there.
I forgot where Kiss said it, but I know that one of his mixtapes or one of his albums or whatever, he had a comment or line when he was like, yo, I was around the era when you had to be really nice to be around other dudes. You couldn't just like walk up and like, you know, be around like a DMX or like a Jay-Z. You got to like, in order to be around, like you had to be nice, you know? So nowadays, I mean, you pay somebody enough money, you can get that collab, you know?
Yeah, true.
Yeah. And there's, you know, still a business. I've heard many rappers say I've done a collab with this person, but the only reason I did it because the check cleared.
There you go.
So yeah, that era to me is one of the greatest eras ever. Yeah. To me, because of those reasons I said.
And to this day, I mean, I go back, I've been listening to like the old mixtapes, like that, whoever put them on, like whatever DJ, it doesn't matter what DJ it is, if they have like an older like 90s hip hop or rap mixtape that's on YouTube, listen to the whole shit, because like, yo, there's a lot of hidden gems that you forget about. You're just like, oh my God, I forgot this cat had this, or this dude this said that, or whatever the case may be, man. A lot of good lyricists back then, man. A lot of good music overall back then.
That's what I'm saying. I'm working on my craft. Like Wu-Tang. So I'm sharp. I'm always sharpening my sword. So
even the joints that they just spit, the new joints that they said, the one with Ray and Griselda, did you hear that at the end? I'm like, yo, sign me up. And they're gonna come out with Cuban Link 3 or 4, whatever it is.
It could have been the Henny talking. I will see if it happens. I would like to see that.
Not. Because if they sound in the way they're sounding on those joints that they dropped that haven't been out yet, I'm buying that album.
Ray sounds reinvigorated.
Yeah.
Ray sounded, he had a little bit more pep in the step. He was there. Like he was in the zone.
It was crazy. And we didn't even hear anybody else from Griselda on it yet. We just heard this cat, Ray's verse. And
not for nothing, all their catalogs put together, they were just playing hit after hit.
Yeah.
That was, God, it was such a nice thing to see. Because again, it was verses, but it was like, you know, I fuck with you, you fuck with me. Let's just put our best shit out and talk some shit in between. Like it just, that to me, it was the best verses I ever saw.
Let me show you. That's how much I love them too, because them two, I don't even have like a best of Wu-Tang playlist. I have my best of playlist is best of Meth and Ghost and Raekwon. Them two like kill it for me.
They were the tag team. You know, out of the group, they were the group, and they were just so, and they work so well together.
Yeah.
They have two different styles, but there's a similar style. Like it's crazy because every Wu-Tang member has his own little chamber he has. But Ray and Ghost are no different. They sound the same, but they're not the same. And sometimes they don't sound the same, but they go together.
It's kind of like a Kiss and Styles. It's kind of like a Kiss and Styles track when they go like flow for flow like that. It's kind of like they just intertwine so well, but yet so different.
And you know what? Now that you say that, I would like to see that versus a Kiss and Styles versus. Now that you say that, I think I would like to see that.